Hello. That's a good way to start, apparently. Hello, I'm Artsy Back Brooke, and I got a SketchBox today. And the reason this SketchBox is here is because SketchBox gave me a 50% off because I had canceled my subscription, and they made the description of what's supposed to be in this box very tantalizing. So if it doesn't live up to expectations, you will definitely be able to hear it in my voice. But I'm hoping that ends up being good. Anyway, so here is the artwork on the box and the artist who made it. And let's open it up and see if this was actually worth it. Okay, I'm crossing my fingers. And I'm just knocking paper down. Okay, let's see. Oh, hopeful. Okay, I mean, there's a brush, and it's an angled chisel brush. Okay, here's the good stuff. Any guesses on what this box is? This is gum Arabic. Okay, we'll give you a few seconds to guess. Bum 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 bum. Can't hum too much of that because I don't know if it's copyrighted. Anyway, if you're wondering, this is what you use to make watercolors. So, yay! This box is supposed to be making watercolors. Okay, got a little mixing tray. Someone might not have one, so it's always good to include. Ooh, a brown Copic. Oh, it's 0.1. It's good for fine little details, but I do like having sometimes bold outlines. Okay, let's see. Oh, they gave primary colors. I like that. SketchBox, good job. I like how you did that. So that will be awesome because in theory, having those three colors, we should be able to mix any color or almost any color. Okay. Not entirely sure what that was, but try to put it off to the side. Okay, what is this? I can't read it. Oh, PearlEx powder. This will be interesting to see if it's possible to mix it. I have so many shiny and glittery watercolors already. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to. Ooh, cute sticker. Very cute sticker. Okay, let's see. Just trying to shake it out off camera. Okay, looking at the supplies. Looks like we got everything out. In the meantime, okay, this is the artwork for the box and the information about the artist. And then also a close-up on the socials. Okay. And of course, some... Ooh, it's a watercolor block. Oh, I love having a watercolor block. Wait, I wonder if I can get more of these. Sometimes I get annoyed with how small SketchBox's paper is, especially when I'm trying to get myself to do bigger pieces to start creating a portfolio. But sometimes small can be better. So I'm really excited. I'm going to read up, watch their little video that they end up posting always before anyone gets the box. Yeah, I find that annoying, but I'm going to look at the video, read up on it, see what the ratios are going to be, and then we're going to try some mixing. I'm so excited. So from the first part of the unboxing to me actually making the watercolors, it was just over 2 weeks. And what ended up happening in that time was just so many messes after a little short vacation. And it got to the point where I was being told, oh, this only happens to 1 in 100 people, or no one else has ever had this glitch happen before. So me just having unlucky time, I think ended up putting just a little bit of a dampener on this box. And I felt like when I actually was trying to use it, I noticed I couldn't find any light fast information on anything. So I was looking at, okay, well, even if I make a bunch of colors I really love, they might not be light fast. And at the moment, I'm trying to prep myself to start doing more professional stuff, and I want to know the light fastness of everything. So between just things in my life and not having any light fast information, it sort of put a dampener on this box. Also, I felt like the pigments were a little bit limiting. And a reason I say that is because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I would actually want some of these colors bumped up in brightness, and then I wish I could have chosen to dull them myself, because I love having a range for all the way from neon to not neon, because great thing about neon is you can tone it down, so you can make some incredible colors by mixing a neon with a non-neon pigment, and it just gives a different brightness while also being toned down. So I think when I was making these, I had a lot of that wishing going on. Now for the actual mixing yeah. Yeah, I'm having trouble talking, can you tell? I mean, it's happened a couple times in the video, and it's been a couple days. Anyway, so in the actual mixing process, all the pigment was jumping out of each of these wells, and it was getting everywhere. I was expected to be completely covered with pigment afterwards, but at the same time as me being annoyed with the pigment going everywhere, this was still really fun. I think if you are not worried about having any professional artwork done with these, or not caring about any of the light fast, I think this was really fun and really great. I just had a lot of that on the back of my mind when I was doing this. So if I would have gotten this box, let's say a year ago, when I was still in my, okay, I need to practice to get my art better, to get to actually trying to pitch a picture book, it would have been fantastic, and I would have loved this box at that point. The other annoying thing is that they were talking about share your recipe of the different paints that you're making, and when you look at the spoon, it's an irregular shape. So if you say, oh, half a spoon of this, half a spoon of this, it could be the small half of the spoon, the big half of the spoon, and I really just dislike that inaccuracy, especially being a scientist. I mean, I have a biochemistry degree, I love science, and when I actually see that, it really bugged me. So that was really frustrating, seeing everyone do these quote-unquote recipes of all the different colors they were making, and I'm just looking at it like you could get wildly different results just depending on where the pigment was in the spoon. I mean, how inaccurate do you have to be? Oh, so annoying. Anyway, that's just that little rant. The one thing I did like about this box, and it wasn't just that I liked it because, oh, this box inspired it. No, it was just, I had this brown liner, and I've been trying to work on using different colored liners, and I just ended up sketching more with it. I mean, I was only going to do a little bit of detail with this liner, and this is sped up 8 times, so the whole art process, the mixing of all the pigments, are actually sped up 8 times fast. And so I didn't think I was going to do much with the actual line work. I was going to do a couple shadows, and I ended up spending almost 20 minutes with this pen just doing all this detail, and it was incredibly fun. And that is something that I've been struggling to do, just doing something so loose and sketchy like this. And I'm grateful to this box for actually giving me this opportunity to practice something that I've always struggled with. So, in a way, it's good, but there's a little sadness to it because, as you can see, it looks really nice. You can see all the lines. Well, that's going to disappear. Now, this comes with not knowing any of the pigment information, not knowing what the type of pigments are, because what is that? I'll have it on the screen when I find it. I think it's the difference between ultramarine blue and French ultramarine. Okay, it'll be on the screen just to confirm. But the difference between those two is how finely ground they are to if they're going to granulate or not. Well, I don't have that information, as well as I don't know what pigments there are. So there are different pigments that have different particle sizes, as well as if they work as well being translucent or not. Now, I did make all glittery, shiny watercolors because I had that, and I probably shouldn't have mixed that in to every single one of them, because you'll see soon, as I was trying to build up shadows and everything, my beautiful line work that I was so proud that I did something so sketchy is going to disappear soon. And that was so disappointing to me. I really wish it wouldn't have, because I felt so proud of it. But also it gives me another opportunity to say, okay, I don't like how these watercolors went with that, but I felt good sketching it this way, so I'm going to be trying to do that again in the future. And one thing about this box was I ended up just sort of making colors that I liked, and then I had no clue what I was going to make with it. So it took me a couple days in which I was letting all the watercolors dry to sort of simulate them just being a pan, and just re-wetting from a pan to test out how they re-wet. It took a little bit of work to get a couple of them to re-wet well. But I ended up just loving the color when I put it on. But a lot of it was, okay, what am I going to do with it? I ended up doing a bunch of test swatches of a gradation between the colors, and they blended beautifully, but I still couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I wanted to sort of do that effect, but ended up not working as well when I was trying to do it on the flower. So that's where a lot of the inner part of the flower, when I was trying to do this effect, ended up getting a little too dark. And then when I was layering purple over to create a lot of more of the shadows, I was having a little bit of struggle with that part as well, because it just did not want to go over very well. So instead of being purple shadowy, it turned more red. So the red that was supposed to be in the middle of the flower to be shadows, but also a color differentiation, sort of looked like the shadows. And it just did not work out the way I thought it was going to. And to me, that just means I can't necessarily do that type of layering technique with these watercolors. It doesn't say anything negative about the actual watercolors. It's just that I would need to do a different technique. So instead of maybe doing a layering, I would more want to do something like blending the colors on the page while they're still wet and everything. But on a whole, it was still fun. I love this magical flower that I came up with, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. So here is what my final flower looks like, and yes, all of it's very shimmery, especially where I was trying to layer. And I know I lost a lot of that line work that I had done beforehand, and it's very hard to tell. Oh, it is actually easier to tell on camera than in real life. That's a new one. Okay, so I basically tried going back over it in a few spots. So this one, this one, and this one. I tried going back over it, adding more of the line work, and the liner did not want to draw over the watercolor as well. And it might be just the pearlescent pigment that was inside it that caused that. But actually, that is really cool that you can see on the camera, but you can't see it in real life. So that's really nice. It did work on these areas that I tried to sort of emphasize that line work shading. Again, I was trying to make this area a little bit clearer. Again, that PearlEx ended up, I think, ruining my piece, and that's just, I probably should have done non-PearlEx powder ones. And when I was talking about the irregular shape of the spoon that they got, do you see how on this end it's smaller, on this end it's bigger? So if you did half as in the top half or the bottom half, it'd be a lot different than if you did this way, half and half. So that's where I thought it was not quite the best, because again, a mixture that you could have had different ratios just from the fact of saying, okay, half the spoon, well, top half, bottom half, right half, left half, which half? I don't know, half. Anyway, so that was just a little bit of annoyance of mine. And I just also wanted to show, despite me saying, well, yeah, I was having a little bit of problems with the pearlescence, they did mix well when I was trying to do a gradation between two colors. So I do love how these turned out. I think I just would need to design a different piece that I could have utilized that. Maybe if I would have done red, go to orange, go to yellow, that could have been really fun, but that's not how I envisioned this flower. So definitely this box needs a lot more experimentation than what I gave it in this video. And just afterwards, this is still how much of each of the pigments I have left. Still decent amount. The one annoying thing I found in this box is that all of this stuff was SketchBox brand. So it was SketchBox Gum Arabic, SketchBox Pigments. Here, I'll even grab them for a second. Okay, I got them now. So yeah, they are all SketchBox. Well, I guess the PearlEx. Okay, that one is PearlEx. So this one is not SketchBox, but the rest of them are SketchBox. So SketchBox, SketchBox. Okay, and then also the Gum Arabic is SketchBox, and for some reason mine settled really badly, and I've been trying to shake it up, but it's still separating. So that's also really annoying that the Gum Arabic sort of separated, and no matter how much I shake it, it hasn't fixed. But yeah, that's really frustrating. So if you really enjoyed this process of mixing everything and you get to the end of your pigments and you want more, it's one of those, oh, too bad. You can't, unless you get an old box, like if they have previous boxes have any of these left, but it could be you don't run out of them and then you're having to search to find Gum Arabic and the pigments. And Gum Arabic can come in a liquid like this. I personally have a powdered Gum Arabic in my studio that I've been wanting to use. So you could have the powder, and then where are you getting the pigments from, because you have different choices when finding pigments. And speaking of pigments, in a way, SketchBox has sent pigments before. So they have sent these out, which were really awesome to use. And this is where you could use these to make watercolors from these. Oh, there's one more. So yeah, I have a bunch of colors that I can make into a watercolor pan because I don't use the powder as much. So that is really cool. You can pair it with something from a previous box. But if you really liked this primary red, blue, yellow, again, there's not really any place to buy it except SketchBox, unless SketchBox is going to start listing things on their website so people can get more of these supplies. I highly doubt it. It's really frustrating because, again, if I found out that these were all light fast pigments, I would enjoy using these, mixing these, having a bunch of them, carry a couple custom palettes. Again, I'm working on children's books, trying to get those ready to be published. I could see myself mixing up custom palettes from these pigments for each book and using that. I could see doing that, but without having any information of where to get more of this stuff, it's not really worth it to me in a way. And that's really frustrating because I really enjoyed the mixing. Having my own colors. I mean, first thing I mixed was an orange. Okay, that's hard to see. Anyway, but this orange right here. And then I went to purple and then green because I really like secondary colors. Secondary colors are my favorite. And then comes primary colors. So yeah, I really love that I was able to mix this orange color. I mean, it's orange. I love orange. And I really enjoyed that. But again, what am I going to do when I run out of the pigments? Anyway, there were some positives and it was a really unique box. But oh boy, there were some things that really frustrated me about this box, and so I don't keep looping and saying the same things over again, we are going to continue because that can happen and I probably already looped. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. You'll see that I'm posting more videos again, as well as I'm trying to get a lot more shorts up. I don't know why that was difficult to say, but I'm getting more shorts up and doing stuff like that. And it would really help me if you would show that you're enjoying it, liking, commenting, subscribing. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Have a bat-tastic day. Bye.